tell us, if you can read it, where this artillery piece was made. Come on over here, young man.
I can't tell if that's a Q.
And you
Take off
can
your
tell
glasses.
us what year
Is
it
that-
was made.
1862.
1862.
Robinson, I guess.
Read the bottom part, which gives you the location. That's Quimby and Robbins.
Or
And where was it made?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. So this tube that you're looking at here is authentic. It weighs around 1,200 pounds, and it's made of bronze. This would have been sort of a bronzy gold at the time of the battle. This is a copper rust that you're looking at, okay? Now, this will be crewed by about 8 men. It could fire between 1 and 2 rounds a minute. And if you were here when they were firing, you'd also see behind you what would be ammunition wagons, limbers and caissons. That requires another 6 horses. So a minimum of 12 horses per artillery piece. Now, here's how they load and fire a piece like this. I'm not going to actually do it, but I'll talk you through it. The first thing they do, come on around here to the front here, boys. They're going to take a pole that on one end of it has a sponge. They're going to wet the sponge and then clean out the bore. Okay? The other thing that they're looking for is to make sure that there's not another round in there. Okay? Then they're going to take an approximately 2-pound bag of black powder, and they're going to set it right at the muzzle end and ram it down as far as they can. What they're trying to do is to get it into this area right here. If you notice, there's a small hole here.
See?
They'll next take a vent pick, which is a little bit like an ice pick, and they'll ram that up and down a few times to break up the powder. Okay? Then they're going to load ammunition.
Is it like gunpowder?
That's what, yes, the gunpowder is loaded back here. Then they'll load the ammunition. Basically 3 types. Solid shot. So I have an artillery piece like this, which is a smooth bore. It's not a rifle gun. You're talking about a 12-pound iron ball, which is about this size. It could easily take your head off. It could also go right through your gut, which would also kill you, but maybe a little bit more slowly. It was designed to get the most effect by firing it down a line. And we do have some accounts, enfilade fire, of 6, 8, 10 men being seriously wounded or killed. Second type of ammunition, case shot, could explode in the air, raining down fragments and shrapnel, which could also kill and wound. And lastly, at closer distances, although the Confederates use very little of it here because they're on the attack all the time, is either canister or grape shot, which are a lot like an artilleryman's shotgun. The canister, before it's fired, looks like a large tin can. Packed inside of it in sawdust are 27 iron balls. They're a little bit smaller than golf balls. So as this is fired, the can explodes coming out of the muzzle, sending out a spray up to a distance of 400 yards. Those iron balls are leaving the muzzle at 500 miles an hour. So if you were struck by multiple canister rounds, not only would you be dead, you would look like a Swiss cheese sandwich with a lot of ketchup on it. Okay? Is that graphic enough?
Yeah.
All right. Now, to continue the firing process, the next thing they'll do is insert a friction primer. What do you
I have
think
a
this?
question first.
Sure.
So when they shoot, how far is the kickback? How far does it roll back?
It depends on the terrain to some degree, probably several feet. Okay, and then they have to readjust it a second time. Modern day artillery, kind I was using in the Vietnam era, we had double trails and we dug them into the ground, so the ground would absorb most of the recoil.
So these would go.
They would spin
2,
back.
3, 4 feet?
It depends on the terrain. Probably at least that much. And that's another reason why you won't fire it inside the wheels. The next thing they do, boys, is take something called a friction primer. Where do you think that goes?
Maybe here?
Yeah. You see if it fits.
Check it out.
Now this is just like a real one with one difference. There's no gunpowder in this. If I were carrying it around with gunpowder, it would be illegal actually. And then they'll attach you stick it in there. Then they'll attach a small rope or a lanyard to this loop. And then the gunner would walk it outside the wheels for the reason we just talked about. Then on the command fire, they pull the lanyard. That should set off a small spark on the inside. That should immediately ignite the powder. A tremendous amount of gas is built up right in front, and that's what thrusts the projectile outside the tube. Aiming it up and down. This large screw that you see is locked in place, but they would twist that one direction or another. That would elevate or depress the tube. Aiming it left and right is even simpler. They place another pole in this hole that you see right here, and a couple of them will leverage it one way or another. There also would have been a rear sight back here, which is no longer present. And at the very front, you may have seen a little bit of a little bit of
Yeah.
depression in the front. That was where the front sight would have.
Gotcha.
What's this for?
This is the way these things were manufactured. It's called a trunnion. And when they're moving it from carriage to carriage, it gives them something they can drape underneath it to have a sort of a carrying point. But it's just a design feature more than anything else. It doesn't really do too much except to move.
Yeah. Neat.
Okay,